He is the Democratic senator from Rhode Island on our show and author of Captured, the Corporate Infiltration of American Democracy, now in paperback, Sheldon Whitehouse. Senator, how are you? All right.
Much appreciated.
Now,
good to be
all
with
right.
you.
Now, why aren't you running for president? What's
I've got
wrong
the right
with
name
you?
for it, don't
What's
I?
wrong with you?
Slogan is so easy.
White House, right?
Oh, put one in there.
No, you don't. They say every senator looks in the mirror and sees the president. Really?
We're not suffering from a shortage of candidates.
No, we are not. Okay. Well, I want to get into that. I mean, you are someone who I think is good because you do criticize your own party, and I think they need a lot of criticism. For example, the 2009 bipartisan, I think it was, climate bill, right?
Yeah.
You think the Democrats could have gotten that done?
Yeah.
So what
It
happened?
was through the House. God bless Nancy Pelosi for getting it done. It cost a few Democratic members of Congress their jobs to do it, but they did.
Oh.
It came over to the Senate, and we never took up anything.
Why?
You can do just a practically empty bill to get it into conference and then work on something. I think there was conflict fatigue at the White House.
From Obamacare?
Yep.
From fighting that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they just didn't want to have another fight. As a
What about now?
senior person in the White House said, Sheldon, we just don't want to take on any fights we're not sure we can win.
Really? And you don't think that's the right philosophy?
No, I kind of don't. That leaves most of the good fights off the table.
And what about now? Is there, because, I mean, the news about climate is just horrible.
Now we have, I think, a real opportunity, but you got to think about it in terms of a jailbreak. You've got 10 or 12 Republican senators who want out, who want to do a climate bill. And on the other side of the wire, you've got a getaway car that most people accept, which is a big price on carbon that's revenue neutral and border adjustable. But between them and that is barbed wire, gun towers, searchlights, attack dogs, all maintained by the fossil fuel industry.
Literally.
Literally. And
Literally attack
it's
dogs.
funded by, well, no,
Okay.
literally the fossil fuel industry.
That's what I was asking. That's good to know.
But there's a lot of fear about who might be the one to take the run for the wire and get wiped out. Bob Inglis in Congress was legendarily wiped out by them.
Yeah.
So the trick is, how do you find a way for these 10 or 12 Republican senators to get there? And that means knocking back the crooked, rough effort that the fossil fuel industry continues to do. By the way, if you have heard the big oil CEOs say they support a price on carbon, they are not telling you the truth. Their whole apparatus is still dedicated to stopping it. And if you look at the rest of corporate America, they're doing essentially nothing to push back on what the fossil fuel guys have done. And in many cases, their trade associations are actually our enemies. So you have good companies with good climate policies and nifty websites who send trade associations to Washington that say, no, nothing on climate change.
And you
We're
think
all
a
done.
lot of this is because of the dark money in politics, right?
I think it's virtually entirely because of the dark money in politics. You turn on the light in the kitchen and the cockroaches scuttle. You put the light on who's putting the money to these things, and a lot of the companies and big donors who are behind this, they don't want to be seen. They're going to hide. They're going to scuttle for the exits.
I mean, that heat wave they had in Europe a few weeks ago, which was something they've never seen. And they don't have air conditioning over there. And,
Yeah.
And they smell bad enough in France.
Not going there.
I'm not going there either. They smell bad and it's hot. But then that heat wave moved over Greenland.
Yeah.
Which is for sale.
Yes?
Well, it's not for sale. What do you think about it? Do you think that's crazy to say, I want to buy Greenland?
Not by his standards.
I mean, but why is it? I mean, there's so many things he actually does wrong and crazy. I don't know why we have to be so reflexive. Harry Truman wanted to buy Greenland in 1946, and we bought Alaska in like 1857. They called it Seward's Folly.
Oh.
But it wasn't really a folly, was it?
And the Louisiana Purchase.
Yeah, right. Anyway, Greenland is melting.
Yes. 12 billion gallons a day of water coming off that ice sheet at the peak, I heard.
They said it was melting at a level that the models hadn't predicted to happen until 2070.
Yeah.
So think of yourself living in 2070.
Yeah.
And if we reach that, the sea levels would rise by 20 feet.
Yeah. Which is why it's urgent to get after
Yeah.
this dark money nonsense, because that is what is holding us back. And as Democrats, that ought to be our daily focus. If you were playing a video game and zombies were attacking you in the video game and they were all powered by the same power source,
Right.
you'd be a lousy player if
Right.
all you did was fight the zombies and
Right.
didn't attack the power source.
So
That's their power source.
So what is your advice to the Democrats? I have tried week after week here, I think you know this,
Yeah.
to kind of be their coach, saying things like, go on Fox News.
Yeah.
You would agree with that?
Yeah,
You got to
I
go
would.
where the people are? Okay.
My Rhode Island colleague David Cicilline does a very good job going on Fox News for the House Democrats.
Okay, good. Stop apologizing for everything?
Correct?
You believe that? You believe there's too much purity testing?
Yeah, way too much.
Okay. So what else?
Circular firing squad. We can't waste time fighting with each other when we have the situation we face now with this White House and when we have the problem we have with the dark money. I mean, in some respects, Trump is almost a distraction from the other problem. He's awful. He's really dazzling in his crudity. And a lot of attention goes to him. In the meanwhile, here are all these big special interests spending unlimited amounts of money to influence the Supreme Court, to take over the EPA, to control Congress and eliminate solutions to climate
sometimes
change.
people, I think, wonder, why do so many conservatives still like him? Well, he gives them a lot.
He gives them a lot.
That they want, not that we want.
And he scares them a lot.
Yeah, he does that.
They look at a couple of my colleagues, like Bob Corker,
Yeah, sure.
Jeff Flake, who he basically...
He's an intimidator.
He put him out.
So I've long said that one of the structural reasons why the Democrats have such an uphill battle is because we have 40 million people here in California and only 2 senators.
Yeah.
How many in your state?
1 million.
1 million.
Yeah.
And they get 2 senators.
Yeah. Can I...
Is that really fair?
To depersonalize it for a minute?
Yeah.
I don't have the numbers right now, but I remember giving a speech on the Senate floor when I did have the numbers. There was a Republican majority in the Senate, and when you added up the number of Americans that those Republican senators represented, it was 40 million people fewer than the Democratic minority represented. So yeah, we have a representation problem. We've had presidents who got elected without having won the popular vote. After Red Map, we had the House taken over after losing the popular vote by 1 million. And we have the Senate with this baked-in problem. The Republicans do a really determined job of winning power with fewer voters. And we don't take on that infrastructure, and we don't take on that strategy. We're too happy fighting the fight of the minute. It's second-grade soccer, chasing the ball, and they are planning ahead.
Well, you get after them. Please do. Senator Whitehouse, thank you very much.